Hello and welcome. In this video, we meet an Edo actor, a truth-teller who stood against the tide of lies. Watch till the end. It might just shift your view of the world.
I was an actor in a theater in Edo, just a humble performer, nothing more. Back in those days, I ran a playhouse, and people of the time were eager to know, what on earth is happening in the world right now? Because of that, I gathered all sorts of information from here and there and incorporated it into our performances. When we presented these stories on stage, people were overjoyed and found great amusement in them. They came in droves to our theater. You see, there were very few means for ordinary people to understand the state of the world or the circumstances they were living in. So, by watching the plays we put on, they gained some sense of the broader flow of events in the world. That's how it was. Because of that, it became my daily duty to gather information from as wide a range of sources as possible. In those times, there were professional informants who dealt in news. I paid them money to obtain their information. I'd hear stories like, what happened in which village, which old woman had hanged herself, or how a baby was born in breach and later died, or how a drowned body was found floating down the river. All kinds of stories and news were scattered everywhere. I also made a point to read all official proclamations thoroughly and understand the regulations being handed down. I could clearly see what situation we were living in. Because of that, I could influence how many people thought and felt. That's how important a role I played. Now, condensing all that into short skits performed daily was no easy task. But the actors in my troupe were seasoned. Once they heard a rough outline of a story, the plot would take shape in their heads at once, and the lines would just flow from their mouths, almost naturally. The audience came to watch with great enthusiasm. The admission fee was only a small coin, but the house was full every day. Because of that, we did very good business. You could say I became a popular actor, yes? That was the way it was. Now in today's age, people use YouTube and the internet, modern tools, to share large amounts of information. There are some similarities, wouldn't you say? Yes, depending on the nature of the information shared, people can be swayed to go this way or that. That carries a great responsibility. Depending on how the information is conveyed, it can move society in any direction. Eventually, our little playhouse became so influential that the authorities grew fearful of it. They came offering large sums of money, asking us to perform plays that served their purposes. Had I accepted that money, we would have been forced to stage exactly what the authorities wanted. But I felt strongly that this was something we must not do. So, I became a poor performer. As playhouses grew in popularity and popped up all over, others took the money. They performed exactly what they were told. The end is near, I thought. These productions, lavishly funded, were able to advertise widely, build grand theaters, attract large crowds, hire many actors, and stage extravagant shows. Naturally, people flocked to see them. When I saw this, I felt it was disgraceful, a betrayal of the performer's spirit. But if I said so, people would sneer, that's just the sour grapes of a poor man. So, I left such people to their ways and resolved to stay true to myself, to continue doing honest work. At first, people still came to our small theater, delighting in the simple, truthful plays. But once the grand theaters emerged, the audience flowed toward them. Ours became nearly empty. At that moment, I had to choose money or principle. I could have gone either way. But I was a stubborn man. I chose to run the playhouse according to the principles I believed in. As a result, I eventually had to shut it down. Still, I have no regrets. Though I lived in poverty, my heart remained proud. I lived honestly, and for that, I still think I did the right thing. Now then, what of today's world? I suspect it's full of liars thriving in great prosperity. But when they die, they will go where they are meant to go. That's when the answer will be made clear. So, you may look forward to that.
Even in the spiritual world, although not quite to that extent, there have been those who promoted their teachings with loud and flashy publicity. Some even claim to speak the words of angels, while in truth they are spreading the words of demons. There are many like that out there. When you try to do things sincerely and properly, it doesn't tend to spread widely. But I've made up my mind about something. I don't want to be swayed by such deception. And of course, I have no intention of doing such things myself. That said, I'm not here to force my way of thinking on others either. Rather, I feel, as strange as it may sound, that I'm being guided by the heavenly realms. So, I'd like to do things in alignment with the will of heaven. Whether it flourishes or fades, grows large or remains small, what truly matters is this: let more people come to know the existence of gods, Buddhas, and the reality of the spirit world. That alone makes everything worthwhile. That's the foundation, perhaps the policy, of this channel. As for how it's carried out, I want to leave that up to those in the heavenly world, and try to tune in and receive their guidance as clearly as I can. That's how I'm feeling about it. Whether it's good or bad, I won't know unless I try. But one thing I know for sure: I don't want to twist what I truly want to say, for the sake of money. Nor do I want to bend it for the sake of fame. Of course, I do sometimes soften the message, so to speak. Why? Because I hope to avoid turning things into conflict. Rather than dividing people into enemies and allies, I'd like, if possible, to bring everything to a peaceful resolution. What was just said now, I think that was the most important part. Thank you very much for coming and for your words. I truly appreciate it. It was a pinpoint lesson, and one I'll carry with me. Thank you so much. I don't want to do something just because I think, if I bring through this person's spirit message, maybe we'll get more views. That's not the kind of motivation I want to follow. Instead, I believe it's important to focus on conveying the words of those in the heavenly realms. Among them, there may be popular figures who come down from time to time. And when that happens, at the right moment, I think the attention will naturally follow. Sometimes ideas rise up within our own hearts, or within the hearts of our staff. So, I want to stay open to those inspirations, not ignore them. If we can receive and embrace what emerges in people's hearts, we can move forward together. Of course, it's not always easy. Someone might suggest something because they're thinking about the numbers, but in reality, it may be that heaven inspired them to say it. It can go either way. And that's why we have to learn how to discern between them. It's not easy. That's why we need some kind of spiritual discernment, a system for telling truth from falsehood. As we continue to run this YouTube channel, I'm sure we'll face all kinds of choices and crossroads. I want to follow the flow that aligns with the heavenly realms as much as possible. At times I may come across as stubborn, or perhaps even indecisive. But I believe that some greater intention is at work, and I'll keep moving forward with that in mind. So, to all of you watching, I truly thank you, and ask for your continued support. I believe new ideas and inspirations will keep coming to us. They might feel sudden or unpredictable at times, but I hope you'll come along with us on the journey. That's all for today. Thank you so much.
How did you feel after watching the video? This is the story of a theater actor from over 300 years ago in the Edo period. Someone who upheld his convictions with pride, choosing integrity over money. His story still resonates today. Even in our modern world, we see the same pattern. People aligning with authority and spreading falsehoods for profit. And sadly, many are swept up in the tide, unable to recognize the lies for what they are. This tale reminds us of the vital importance of media literacy. We must prepare ourselves to discern truth from deception. On the other hand, as content creators, we strive to share messages filled with sincerity and spiritual value. Our goal is to help more people understand the existence of the spirit world. If this message speaks to you, please share this channel with others. We would deeply appreciate your support through likes and subscriptions. Thank you for being part of this journey. That's all for today. Please stay tuned for the next video.